What is up, my little baby internet land? I am Lynn and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. I usually do some sort of artsy crafty thing here and talk about whatever's on my mind grapes. If that's something you're into, please like, subscribe, comment. Hey, I'm even down for the hate watchers to comment or to like subscribe and all that, because hey, then you know in the comments. So the thing I want to talk about today is these messages that have gone out to college students, middle school students, young people, and middle-aged people, just really all the people, right? Of a certain skin tone. And the thing is, I feel like this younger generation, maybe they don't know the realities of slavery being like literally the darkest chapter in our American history. It's something that nobody needs to repeat. And the end of it was something that nobody needs to repeat. It was all told just like a really fucking bad time, okay? And for people that care about human rights, oh God. Yeah. So we're going to talk about some things. I've noticed something that happens out in this world. So a couple of months ago, my mom was in the hospital. And she had just had like some testing done, and they'd kept her overnight. For some reason, like the tests weren't, perfect and blah, blah, blah. So anyways, I texted her boyfriend the next day. Now the problem is I did not have her boyfriend's number in my new cell phone. So I had asked her what it was, and she rattled it off from memory, but I didn't take into account that, hey, she's just had some heart testing and maybe is like sedated or something. I don't know, because well, it was the wrong number. Now, the response I got from this wrong number was not the type of response that you should give someone for having a wrong number. The response I got was someone who wanted to play a little prank on me, right? So they responded with, "Oh my gosh, I thought you knew. She passed away this morning." Which is not the greatest thing you want to hear, right? I was in between therapists at the time and immediately just like set off into a fit of tears because, for all the trouble my mom and I have, my God, she's my mom. And it was jarring. Eventually, a couple of hours later, after this person is just continually conversing with me and, making out like they're my mom's boyfriend, while I'm just like breaking down, like what did that person get out of that experience? Like, what was your benefit, friend? Was this a young person? Was this an old person bored with their life? That's what I think about. Who pranks people on their cell phones? Who does that? Like, that is not the way you're supposed to act in a civilized freaking country. I mean, like, okay, if you're a kid, you need to stop. That is not appropriate at all. See, I guess when we were kids, we had that Simpsons episode with Bart, and he calls that dude in Australia, Collect, to ask him which way is his toilet flush. And, they don't have like a working toilet or something, so he has to go to the nearest neighbor who is, like 100 kilometers away or something. I don't know math. Anyway, and the bill ends up being this huge thing, and Bart gets taken to the country of Australia for committing fraud, and then they end up kicking him so fucking hard in the ass with this gigantic boot. I don't know. Like, we learned about consequences really young, okay? And also we learned what happens if you introduce an invasive species into a biosphere. Because Bart also took a froggy into Australia, and then they kind of took over. It was bad, right? Anyway, back to the story. Actions have consequences. We learned that. We did. But, like, so many people have been getting these messages that it's definitely, it feels like it's got to be more than one person doing it. Because that's insane. It's across, like, 10 states, right? And messaging all these people. And I don't know. They're not all complete copy and paste. Like, there's slight variations. And yeah, no, it's not one person. It's not one person. Definitely not one person. So it's like some sort of collective communal prank. And that's, God, that's even worse, you idiots. Like, seriously? And a little part of me is actually scared that it's not any kind of a prank. And somebody is just, like, some group of people are just complaining like a new confederacy or something, and they're gonna spring it all on us on, like, January 21st, and I am terrified. It's not how America works. This is not how America works at all. So later that day, I was finally able to get a hold of my mom. Turns out her phone had died. Didn't have her charger with her. So obviously she hadn't been answering any of the calls. And when I did finally get a hold of her, I had some words for the person who had been texting me all day long. So my mama had died. That was one fun time. You shouldn't play on people's phones. People trust that the people that they're texting, if it's the wrong person, will say, hey, it's the wrong person, right? Because people have an implicit trust of whatever is received on their phone. And that implicit trust for a large number of the citizens in multiple states has been broken, because some of them were in class when their phone went off. Some of them were at work. Some were probably in meetings. They were in all sorts of places when their phone went off and decided to tell them that they had been picked to be a slave. I mean, see, I'm laughing now because it's fucking laughable that this is something that happened to people in the year 2024. But here we are. And with the whole Donald Trump saying that he won't send funds to schools that insist on teaching kids that this nation was built on the backs of slaves. Well, he's not going to send those schools money anymore. So that means those kids aren't going to learn these lessons anymore. And that means that where people say they should learn this at home, nope, nobody's family teaches them about the history of slavery. I'm sorry. It's something you learn in school. And Donald Trump wants new history to be taught. You know, the one that doesn't make anybody feel bad about how our country was made. Maybe there are some things we should feel bad about. Like the beginning of this country, this nation, is largely built on the backs of slaves. That was wrong. Bad. No good. So why is that not okay to be taught anymore? I mean, I'll still say it. Like, I'm saying it right now. Like, it was bad. It was very freaking bad. And the fact that these kids are being threatened with this thing that should be a long since closed chapter of our history. Oh, God. What are we? Like, what even are we doing here? Seriously. I'm so chronically online that I caught one news report and it said something about they so far suspected these text messages to be phishing scams. To which my immediate reply was, how are these phishing scams? Like, they're not exactly asking for anything. It doesn't include a link with, a fake bank account website or anything. No, it's, what are they phishing for? Because in my experience, that's how phishing scams work, you guys. Yeah. But seriously, I was just one news report, and then all of a sudden, I could not find anybody saying that after that point. What's going on with our country? This is not okay. This many people getting text messages to their phone about something that should be decades done with, legally speaking. Like the laws on the books, all that, yeah, all that jazz. But like, it's long since over, guys. What in the world is happening that people are receiving these text messages? I don't know, is this a prank? Is this somebody's idea of a sick joke? What even is this world that we are living in after November 5th? Remember the 5th of November.